I'm sure every community has that guy who just wants to make the community better. And Joe's willing to do whatever it takes to make the community better.
I think most of us in the community know Joe probably because our kids have went to Joe's office for braces. For most of us, he was the orthodontist, and the kids loved him.
I started in Bucyrus in 1980, and we moved here in 1981. Practiced in Bucyrus and in Galion, had offices in both locations, and then eventually discontinued teaching and went into full-time practice here.
He's not from Bucyrus or Crawford County, and it's kind of nice that he had a professional job, worked hard for many years, and then when he retired, he stayed in the community and is so attached to the community and making it better.
Joe has been responsible for two major activities in Crawford County, and being able to help people understand that there's opportunities in that county and they need to stay there and live and work and raise a family in Crawford County. The other piece is never forgetting the importance of education.
I ran for Bucyrus City School Board, and I was on the Bucyrus City School Board for about 13 years. Through that, of course, you learn a lot about education, administration.
Serving on the school board is not anything that everybody pats you on the back for. It's one of those things that you need those people to step up and do, and he stepped up and did it for a long time. His big thing has always been education. Our higher education attainment level here in Crawford County isn't great, and it was the one thing that Joe just kept. That was really his passion.
So many of our people here are just challenged in Crawford County by financial means, transportation, different socioeconomic barriers. And I was really struck by the need for more accessible job training, workforce readiness, non-traditional student that finishes high school with no real course, and make them more marketable and give them an opportunity for a better quality of life.
When Joe Shadid talks about post-secondary attainment, he's not just talking about university four-year degrees, he's also talking about associate degrees, and he's also talking about certifications. And this is all tied right back to employers and what employers need in that county.
I hadn't really worked with him until Spark was formed, which is Succeed and Prosper Through Education, Ashland, Richland, Crawford.
A lot of the mission and vision of Spark came directly from Joe, because I can remember him saying, when we were talking about what's really our goal for the young people, he said we want them to be virtuous citizens of our community, to the extent that we want them, everybody, to be happy and all those things, but able to sustain their own lives.
Another person serving on that board at the time was President Don Plotz. One day I asked Don, what it would take to get a more permanent facility in Bucyrus. He gave me his criteria and everything, and I knew I couldn't do it. Little old retired orthodontist by myself.
We started working with Chris Harris at the North Central State Foundation, talking to Don, who was a Crawford County boy growing up.
During that time, we went through the 2020 vision process and did focus groups and brought people in from Crawford County to talk about what's going to make our county really good. Every time Joe would talk, he would talk about education attainment in Crawford County. And he would say, it's not here. He was absolutely right. It just wasn't there. It was down around 8.5%, 9% college attainment. Joe just took off and started working in the community and started getting people involved and started to recruit some dollars that we might be able to put a center together.
The Success Center, I think, is pivotal to changing the cycle of poverty. It's critical in educating our older people, and they need to encourage their children to pursue some type of education beyond high school.
If you go online today and look at the courses that are offered at the Success Center, you're going to be very surprised and you're going to be very pleased with what you see, and it's continuing to grow. The result is that almost 2.5% increase in college attainment in Crawford County over a 3-year period. That's unheard of, and it's because of the focus that Joe helped to bring to that county. It's because Joe insisted that education be part of economic development, that you can't do one without the other.
not everybody agrees 100% on some issues. Joe's not bashful about telling you that you're a little bit off. You need to come back to center. He looks you right in the eye and he said, no, we need, and quietly he said, we need to make sure we're focusing. And he's just a great guy to be able to help pull everybody back to the vision, back to the center point of the topic.
He also has a way to take conflict and make it go away and getting people back working together. I think he has those great skills. When the Galleon Hospital Board wanted to get people that lived in Bucyrus that were key people in the community, Joe Shadid's name popped up. And so Joe agreed to serve and helped us bring the Bucyrus community into the Avita health system and make that successful, because we wanted those two communities that competed with each other for so long to actually work together. And I think Joe really understood that concept and was great at working with the community. He started out as a board member at Avita and then became the vice chair of the board. And now he is the chairman of the Avita Health System Board.
I enjoy learning things, and since I retired, learning about healthcare, learning more about education and all that. It's been very inspiring for me, the whole experience.
I think Joe's going to be remembered more for his community contributions, maybe, and for many people than he is maybe for his career contributions, which is kind of neat. Nobody ever planned that. Joe didn't plan it that way.
His legacy is going to be helping Crawford County get and keep education and raise the attainment, and it's already started, and it's just going to keep going up.
He's totally one of those selfless people. He just wants to improve the community for everybody that lives here.
He's never stepped forward to take any credit at all. If anybody deserves credit, it's Joe, but again, he'd be the last one to solicit any attention.
There are probably hundreds of people that are involved with different organizations, and they all have good intentions and good purposes, and they're working very hard to make Crawford County a better place to live. It's really a very inspiring thing, and it makes it easier for a person to really get involved.